As you remember, 2 days ago, in my video, I described in detail the destruction of the container ship Shui Spirit, which the North Atlantic Alliance used to deliver various types of Western-made weapons to the ports of Ukraine. The destruction of this vessel is notable for the fact that during the hit of the Iskander-M ballistic missile, a mighty explosion occurred, as a result of which the radioactive background in the port of the city of Chernomorsk increased significantly. Back then, commenting on the destruction of this vessel, the coordinator of the Russian underground in Ukraine, Sergei Lebedev, said that tens of thousands of NATO depleted uranium shells were in the holds of this container ship. Experts and analysts from the publication Bulgarian Military also commented on the destruction of the container ship Shui Spirit. In particular, they stated that Russian military intelligence demonstrates high efficiency in this region. Experts noted that the Russians easily identify vessels in the Black Sea that are secretly operating in favor of the North Atlantic Alliance. In addition, experts and analysts from the publication Bulgarian Military said that Iskander-M ballistic missiles have become a real headache for NATO. According to them, these Russian ballistic missiles have once again proved their high effectiveness by destroying dozens of military facilities associated with the Ukrainian army and NATO forces. Analysts and experts noted that Russia has begun to act more harshly in the Black Sea. They believe that Moscow has tacitly banned NATO from sending its ships to the ports of Ukraine under the guise of flags of foreign states. Interestingly, 48 hours after the destruction of the container ship Shui Spirit, full of depleted uranium shells, Russian Iskander-M ballistic missiles attacked the Odessa region again. In particular, independent monitoring services recorded 3 powerful explosions in the port part of the city of Odessa and the northern part of the city of Tatar-Bunery. However, before moving on to the main topic of this video, where I will tell you in detail what exactly Russian ballistic missiles have destroyed in these cities, I would first like to discuss a very important statement by the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation with you. In particular, on October 15, 2024, the Russian Defense Ministry officially announced that the fighters of the group of troops under the designation Sever had liberated half of the territory of the Kursk region, occupied by the Ukrainian army. Moreover, representatives of the Russian Defense Ministry officially confirmed the information that Russian troops managed to reach the state border in the Glushkovsky district of the Kursk region, completely liberating such settlements as VOLFINO, Krasnooktyabrski, Novyi Put, Obod, Medvezia, and Polototdelsky. Thus, as of October 16, 2024, it can be stated with confidence that the military operation of the Ukrainian army and NATO forces in the Glushkovsky district of the Kursk region has completely failed. Against this backdrop, Western military experts from numerous analytical centers began to wonder whether the Russian army would cross the border of the Sumy region or remain in the Glushkovsky district of the Kursk region. By the way, while Western military experts are trying to guess the further actions of the Russian army, in the southeastern part of the Sudzansky district of the Kursk region, Russian troops managed to enter the southeastern part of the outskirts of the city of Sudza. According to war correspondents, the Ukrainian army has lost control of most of the city's suburbs. In particular, war correspondents confirmed that on October 15, 2024, Russian troops managed to take control of 70% of the territory of the village of Makhnovka, which is located just 4 kilometers from the city of Sudza. In addition, Russian troops are also advancing on the city of Sudza from the northeast, from the village of Mykolovka, which is located just 3 kilometers from Sudza. According to the commander of Spetsnaz Akhmat, General Apty Yaladanov, the Russian army entered the final phase of the liberation of the Kursk region. The Russian general noted that the complete liberation of the Kursk region could take place in the coming weeks. Against this backdrop, the chairman of the Defense Committee of the State Duma, Andrei Kartopolov, called on the Russian army not to stop after the liberation of the Kursk region. According to him, Russian troops should severely punish the enemy by expelling the troops of the Kiev regime from the Sumy region as well. By the way, today, General Apty Oladanov confirmed the information that the Marines of the 155 Brigade of the Pacific Fleet destroyed 1,500 Ukrainian and NATO soldiers, who were surrounded in the Volgovka area. According to him, eliminating these enemy forces allowed the Russian Marines to launch an offensive against enemy positions in such settlements as Dariano and Sverdlikovo. Returning to the main topic of this video, it is worth noting that the missile attack on the Odessa region was not the only one last night. As it turned out, on the night of October 15, Russian Iskander-M ballistic missiles also hit numerous military facilities in such Ukrainian regions as Zaporizhia, Sumy, Kiev, Cherkasy, Poltava, Kirovograd, and Nikolaev. By the way, in the Nikolaev region, the local armored plant was subjected to the most massive attack. It is reported that 6 Iskander-M ballistic missiles hit this plant at once. However, last night, the most important achievement of the Russian military turned out to be the destruction of a large column of the Ukrainian army's military equipment, which was based in the northern part of the city of Tatarbunery. In addition, the Russian Iskander-M ballistic missile also hit and destroyed another NATO ship, in the port part of the city of Odessa. In particular, we are talking about the bulk carrier Moon, which was used by the North Atlantic Alliance to deliver to Ukraine a large number of missiles for F-16 fighters, engineering equipment, spare parts for Western heavy equipment, and modern communications equipment. Thus, over the past 30 days, Russia destroyed 4 ships that were used by NATO to deliver Western weapons systems to Ukraine. In particular, we are talking about the bulk carrier Parisa, the cargo ship Optima, the container ship Shui Spirit, and the bulk carrier Moon. It is noteworthy that all these NATO vessels secretly transported Western types of weapons from the Romanian port of Constanta, hiding behind the flags of foreign countries. How Russian military intelligence manages to identify camouflaged NATO ships so accurately remains a mystery.